So today's video is going to be a little bit different than the other vlogs I've been doing so far. This one I'm not really going anywhere, as I mentioned, and I'm just going to kind of talk a little bit about what I'm doing here and kind of recap on this past week. So what happened was my dad was coming down to Zambia to work at a hospital here, and in the past he's come before and brought other members of my family, and this time he asked if I wanted to come. And of course, traveling, I love the opportunity to travel, but I didn't really want to come unless there was something for me to do here. And since my focus has been video and video production, I wondered if I could use that in any way. So I got in contact with a local sports ministry group here called Push the Rock, and they're all over the United States and different parts of the world, and found out that they have an intern who is studying communications. She's doing photography and was going to be doing some video work for them, and so I could come down and help work with that. And so we talked back and forth and found out, it might actually be a decent opportunity. So I came down and spent the last week documenting the time of this disc golf team that was here. There was a frisbee golf team from the United States that came down, and they took time to install a frisbee course and teach the locals how to play, which was an amazing time because most of these kids have never heard of a frisbee, let alone a whole game based around it. And it was really interesting to see the reaction and how good some of these kids got in just a couple of days. So that was kind of the first week, and then we took a trip to Livingston, did the falls as you saw in the last few days vlogs, and spent some time there. And now everyone else went on a safari, so I figured today would be a good time for me to sit down and kind of just talk about what else is going on here and the people and so on. So this next week I'll be working more closely with the intern. We're going to go out into some villages, do some filming out there, do some house calls, kind of document what the interns go through, because they have about 4 or 5 other interns here that are working with the ministry, and kind of see how that interaction goes in the community. So that'll be really interesting to actually take cameras into villages, and people here often, they think you're taking a picture, so that video is kind of a lost concept on them at times, but they'll pose and smile and then want to see what it looks like. So that's always fun, but it's kind of weird when you're taking a video and someone poses for you. It's like, oh, okay, maybe I'll go back and take a picture now. So that's one thing that's going on, and I'll also be making some videos at the hospital for my dad, just to kind of document his time and some of the more unique things that happen at a mission hospital in the middle of the African bush. So that's kind of why I'm here and what I'm doing, and just some of my thoughts on being here. We haven't really had internet, so all of these videos are being uploaded the week after I get back in order, just because internet here is limited at best, if it's existing at all. Power outages are very common. Water is a problem because it has to be pumped, and if there's no electricity to run the pumps, then you don't have water. Now, fortunately, we're able to stay on a compound that always has electricity because of generators and always therefore has water, and that's because they do a lot of malaria research here. It's the Malaria Research Trust Foundation group. They study mosquitoes, and so they have mosquito housing and equipment that can't be without power. So we benefit from that because we constantly have power. However, the internet isn't always on, and when the power does go out and the generator doesn't kick on, then there is no internet either. So I've decided just to not really worry about it. I'll check all my emails, do everything when I get back, but that also means I can't be uploading or downloading videos or anything like that. So that's a little bit different than the normal pace of life. And there's no huge lighting systems like we have in the United States. There's some street lights, but even those are limited, and if you have a flashlight, that's good. But when the sun goes down, the evening stops, and when the sun comes up, the morning begins, and that's kind of how the days run. And it's a little bit different than my normal stay up late, working or having fun, doing whatever, and sleeping in. That's kind of opposite here, so getting used to that schedule was kind of fun, but I'm very much used to it now, and I actually enjoy getting up when the sun's up and getting more out of my day. Although a day like today, Saturday, I still managed to sleep in till about 9:30, which was nice because I had not gotten a lot of sleep the night before. But overall, the people are extremely friendly. They speak multiple different tribal languages, but everyone usually speaks a little bit of English, if not fluent English, because that's, I think, one of their official languages here, and that's kind of helpful to try and communicate with them. And yeah, people are very open, very hospitable. There's a group from Messiah College right now they're here for a summer term class, and they're also out spending time in the villages overnight, I believe, this weekend, without running water and electricity and that sort of stuff. So it's pretty interesting, the programs and the experiences that you can have at a place like this. Today, as I said, hasn't really been a whole exciting day. I got some filming done for my other videos, and I went on a nice 45-hour long walk with my dad just to see the different places around and how everything's kind of based around this central location at the hospital here. So it's been a really kind of unique experience. I've been to Africa before, but only as a kid, and so now coming back as an adult and actually having to find something to do that's constructive and not just being a part of a trip has been a really interesting experience. We haven't had too many problems other than flying in. The local airstrip was shut down, which happens, things are not always maintained as well as they should be, or regulations change, and so that was a small problem, but in the end we ultimately had a good experience for it, meeting new people and getting to talk with the pilot and meet his family and spending the night in a town that we didn't intend to spend the night in. And so there's a lot of different things that happen that you have to kind of take as they come. You can't really plan for anything. You can only try. And so we still aren't entirely sure about how we're getting back to the airport, and all that's being worked out today. So all in all, it's just a totally different style of living, and for people who haven't experienced it, it's definitely worth experiencing at least once. I know for me, with being on social media and trying to keep up to date on everything, it's kind of weird to go without it, but you realize how unimportant it is and how real connections can be when you actually take the time to invest in people, which is also very important, and we don't always do as much in the States. But I've had a really good first week, and I'm hoping that the second week will be really good. And if you want to leave questions in the comments, I'll try my best to answer them, even though this video will be posted a week or two late. I may make a video at the end of all of these going up and just kind of answering some questions that people may post, or whether that's on YouTube or Facebook or wherever you're seeing this. That would be really enjoyable for me to kind of try and answer things that you might have questions about, as to the best of my abilities, because I'm definitely not an expert on this place. But it's been really fun so far, and it'll be interesting to go back home, where I don't have a defined job yet. I don't have anything set, and kind of apply some of the ways of life here to what I'm doing back home, and take the things I've learned and use them in my daily life. So different style of vlog today, a little bit more low-key, not a lot going on. I think the other interns just returned back to the compound, and we have dinner coming up, so nothing too exciting going on, but just kind of wanted to make a little bit of a video talking about why I'm here and what I'm doing and what I've done so far. So I'll do another one kind of like this towards the end, and then probably a day of travel or something like that, which is always a lot harder because you have to be carrying your camera out and getting it out in airports and stuff. It can be done, it just feels odd, and sometimes you're just too tired to do it. So we'll see what happens with that, but I'd like to make a little bit more of a video capturing the travel, because that's a unique experience as well. So that's it for this video, and I'll catch you guys next time.